My beloved, my precious light, my child whom heaven has whispered about since before the world was formed. Do you feel it? That tremor in your heart right now isn't fear. It's recognition. Because you already know, deep inside, that this moment was prepared just for you. I, Archangel Michael, have been standing guard, watching the clock of heaven count down until your miracle would arrive. And my child, that time is now. This is the exact moment prophecy bent its head and said, "It's time." I am not here by chance. I am not speaking to you because you stumbled across these words. I am here because God Himself has commanded me. Do not let my child skip this, not for any reason, not for 1 second. Congratulations. Your miracle has arrived. But it will not wait for you forever. I have seen blessings fade from those who hesitate. And I have seen heaven's doors swing wide for those who answer instantly. This is not a casual message. This is a divine appointment. You were written into it before your first breath. And hear me clearly, my beloved. Your angel is not allowing you to skip this message at any cost. If you try to turn away, you will feel that tug on your soul until you return. Pause right now. Take a breath. Because what I'm about to tell you will feel like it's been stitched straight into your life. But before I reveal what heaven has stored for you, I need your heart here, not half here, not distracted. You must listen with the part of your spirit that still believes in sudden miracles. Because the one about to land in your hands will not come again in the same way. If you're hearing me now, it means you are already in the center of this blessing's arrival. And my role? To make sure you don't step away from the very gift your soul cried out for. So, my precious one, if you feel this word pulling at you, don't resist. Don't delay. God said to me, tell them, their answer is already on the way. But their obedience in opening this moment will decide how it arrives. Listen. You've been misunderstood, overlooked, and told that your time will come someday. But heaven never said someday. Heaven said now. This now is holy. It's fragile. It's written with your name in ink that angels carry. And I'm here to guard it until you say yes. So stay with me. Because what I am about to open will feel like standing in front of the door you have been praying for your entire life. And my beloved, it is already unlocked. My beloved, you have been wondering why the air feels different today, why the light in your room seems softer yet sharper at the same time, why your spirit feels as if it's standing in the middle of a quiet storm that is both unsettling and beautiful. That is because heaven has just shifted in your favor. I am not here to give you a distant promise of one day. I am here to tell you that your one day has just walked into your today. You have cried, prayed, begged, and even doubted, but your faith, yes, even the small mustard seed of it, has been enough to tilt the heavens. The sound you don't hear with your ears but feel in your chest is the sound of the gates opening. And I, Archangel Michael, am here to walk you through them before they close. My child, your miracle is not on the way, it has arrived. It is breathing in the same air you are breathing now. It has been delivered into the atmosphere of your life, and all that remains is for you to step forward and claim it without hesitation. God told me to be very clear with you. This is not a season where you can afford to delay, overthink, or let fear whisper its poison in your ear. You see, fear will try to tell you that maybe this message is not for you, maybe you are reading this by coincidence, maybe you should wait and see. But fear is a liar, and its only goal is to keep you sitting in the same place you've been for too long. Heaven is not speaking to you right now for you to wait and see. Heaven is speaking to you because the moment you open your heart fully to these words, the current of divine change will pull you into the very thing you have been praying for, even if you didn't have the words to pray for it. Your spirit knows exactly what I am talking about, even if your mind is scrambling to catch up. You feel that ache in your chest, that tug somewhere deeper than thought, because your soul recognizes the truth when it hears it. Listen to me, my beloved, you have been chosen for this moment. Not the person sitting next to you, not the one you think is more qualified, not someone holier or better. You. You, with your history, your scars, your regrets, and your victories. You, who have survived battles no one knows about. You, who have been counted out by people who had no idea what heaven had written for you. God saw every sleepless night. He heard every silent prayer you whispered when no one else could hear you. And now, the answer to those prayers is pressing against the walls of your reality, waiting for your yes. But here is the truth that you must understand: your yes cannot be half-hearted. You cannot nod politely to heaven and then turn your attention back to your doubts. If you truly want what has been sent to you, you must be ready to receive it like you've been waiting for it your entire life, because in truth, you have. I will tell you something only your angel would know: you have been moments away from giving up. The weight of waiting has been so heavy that you wondered if maybe it was easier to stop expecting. But heaven will never let you stop expecting what it has already assigned to you. That is why, even when you tried to bury your hope, it kept resurfacing in strange ways, in a conversation, in a dream, in a random phrase you overheard. This is because your destiny is stubborn. It refuses to die. And now, that destiny has matured into a miracle that is ripe for harvest. This is the season where what was planted in tears will be reaped in joy, and I am telling you, the joy is closer than the air around you. My beloved, I am urging you to stay with me. Do not scroll away, do not let your attention scatter, because every sentence you read is part of a chain being built in the spiritual realm, a chain that will pull you into the fulfillment you have been waiting for. You might think you're reading just another message, but you are actually standing in the middle of a transaction between heaven and earth, where your obedience to keep reading is the signature heaven needs to release the rest of what is coming. God has said, do not let them go until they understand. And I am here under that command, holding you in this moment until your heart says, yes, I'm ready. I receive. Even now, as you read this, there are forces moving in the unseen. Angels are aligning conversations, opportunities, and open doors that will suddenly appear in your path. You will call them coincidences, but I will remind you they are not. Nothing in the kingdom of God happens by accident. This moment was written for you before your first cry as a baby, and now you stand in the fullness of it. The only question is whether you will step into it boldly or let hesitation steal it from you. I am telling you, my beloved, heaven will not allow me to watch you lose this. That is why I am speaking so plainly, so urgently, so relentlessly, because your moment is now. My beloved, there are things I am about to reveal to you that you may have sensed in fragments, but never in their full form. For months, even years, there have been whispers in your spirit, small sparks of knowing that something extraordinary was hovering over your life, waiting for its moment to descend. You thought maybe you were imagining it, or maybe you convinced yourself that what you felt was only wishful thinking, a fantasy your heart created to comfort you through long nights. But I tell you now, you were not imagining anything. That inner stirring was the voice of heaven preparing you for what is here now. You are standing at the edge of the very thing you have been waiting for, and I can see it so clearly from where I stand. God Himself has sent me to make sure you step forward without looking back, because what lies ahead for you will make everything you've endured worth it. There is a reason your spirit has been restless lately, why even in moments of joy you have felt a strange sense of anticipation, as if something was about to break open. That was not anxiety. That was your soul picking up the vibration of your appointed hour. Every prayer you have spoken, every tear you have shed, every time you refused to let go of faith, no matter how small that faith felt, has been building to this moment. Heaven is not in the business of wasting pain, my child. Every trial you have survived has become a stone in the foundation of this blessing. And I must tell you this in plain words, your time of merely surviving is over. You are crossing into a season of thriving, of holding in your hands what you once only saw in dreams. God has made it clear that this moment requires your full attention, because the blessing that has arrived is sensitive. It must be received with readiness, not hesitation. Do not think of it as some abstract promise, think of it as a living thing, standing at your door, waiting for you to open and let it in. It is not knocking politely, it is here with authority, because it was sent by the one who has authority over all things. And yet, even with that authority, heaven will not force itself on you. You must decide to receive. This is why I am speaking with such urgency. It is not because your blessing will vanish if you blink, but because every second you delay is a second longer before you step into the life God has prepared for you. You may be wondering why this blessing is coming now, after all the years of waiting. I will tell you, there is a divine calendar, and your name has been circled on it for this very hour. What you thought were delays were actually alignments. Heaven was arranging the right people, the right places, and the right timing so that when your blessing arrived, it would fit perfectly into your life without falling through the cracks. Even the things that looked like detours, the relationships that ended, the opportunities that slipped away, the doors that slammed shut, were all part of the positioning. You were never behind schedule, my beloved. You were right on time for God's time. Now, I must speak to the part of you that doubts. The part of you that thinks maybe this is not real, maybe this is just another hopeful word that will fade away. That part of you is the reason heaven sent me with such authority. Your angel is not allowing you to skip this message at any cost. You will find that even if you walk away from these words, they will echo in your mind until you return. You cannot unhear what heaven is speaking to you now. This is because your blessing is not optional, it is essential to the destiny God has written for you. And that destiny will not be complete without this moment of acceptance. Beloved, I need you to understand the weight of what is happening in the unseen right now. While you are reading this, angels are moving on your behalf. They are touching the hearts of people you do not yet know, aligning their paths to cross with yours. They are shifting circumstances, bending rules, and opening doors that no human hand could force open. There are meetings being arranged in your future that will feel like chance encounters, but they are divine appointments. There are words being spoken about you in rooms you have never entered, and those words are carrying favor in your direction. All of this is unfolding because you dared to hold on when everything told you to let go. And now, my beloved, I must tell you something that will change the way you see everything. The answer you have been praying for is closer than you think, not weeks away, not months away, but already moving toward you as you take in these words. It will arrive in a way that is both natural and supernatural, so much so that you will have no choice but to say, "This was God." And when it does, you will see that every moment of waiting was not wasted, it was preparation. I will continue to speak until your heart burns with the truth of this. This is not the time to play small with your faith. This is the time to stand tall, to declare with your words and actions that you are ready for the fullness of what heaven is releasing to you. Your readiness will draw it closer, just as your hesitation could push it back. And I know you do not want to push it back, not after all you have been through. This is why I will not let you go until I know you are holding this blessing in your hands, knowing beyond a shadow of doubt that it is yours. My beloved, there is a stirring beneath the surface of this night that even the stars can feel. They have been looking down for centuries, watching countless evenings pass, yet tonight they lean closer as if this moment holds a weight that could tilt the heavens themselves. I can feel the vibration of God's word moving through the very air that wraps around your house. It is not a casual thing, not a small shift, it is a summons. The same kind of summons that called Lazarus from the tomb, the same kind of command that split seas and made walls fall. It is being spoken over you now, and the sound of it is why your heart won't sit still. You know, deep in the marrow of your spirit, that something is drawing near, and that it will not knock politely. It will enter with the authority of the one who sent it. I have seen the scrolls of your life, beloved. I have read the lines written in heaven's ink, the ones you have not yet lived. There are chapters waiting that carry joy so deep, you will forget the taste of certain tears. There are blessings stored in the treasury of God with your name engraved so sharply no one else could claim them. And tonight is the night one of those treasures begins to descend. You have been circling this moment for months without realizing it, like a ship on the edge of its harbor. The wind has shifted now, and the sails of your destiny are filling. But ships do not dock themselves, you must be awake to anchor what is coming. Do not think, but maybe it's not for me. That thought is poison, and it comes from the one who fears what you will become if you take hold of this. I have fought him before on your behalf, cutting away the nets he threw over your path. I have heard his accusations against you in the unseen courtrooms, and I have silenced him with the blood of the Lamb. But there is one thing I cannot do for you, I cannot make you believe. That part is yours. And belief, my child, is the door through which tonight's miracle must walk. Even now, as I speak to you, I can see a golden thread stretching from the throne of God directly to your dwelling. It glows brighter every time your heart agrees with what I'm saying. When you doubt, it dims. When you believe, it flares so brightly the angels shield their eyes. That thread is how tonight's blessing will travel. And if it breaks, if it fades because you chose to skip this, then what was meant for now will be delayed, and I will have to walk away with it still in my hands. That is why I am pleading with you in a tone I rarely use. Not because God is weak or uncertain, but because I want you to taste the fullness of what is already on its way. Beloved, the walls of your house have been listening. The floor beneath your feet has absorbed your prayers, your cries, even the quiet sighs you gave when no one was watching. Every space you have stood has recorded your hope and your pain, and tonight, those spaces will respond. It will feel small at first, perhaps a sudden peace, perhaps a flicker of joy in your chest, but it will grow. By the time this night is done, something will be different. The air will hold a memory of this visitation, and you will never walk through your own home the same way again. You may not see me, but I am here. I stand with a sword drawn, not to harm but to guard. I guard the entrance of your blessing, ensuring no shadow slips in before it lands. My wings stretch over the roof, and the light they reflect is what is causing the atmosphere in your home to feel strange and alive. If you could hear what I hear, you would drop everything and listen. There is movement in the courts of heaven, and they are speaking your name in the tense, beautiful way they do when a promise is seconds away from breaking open. And my child, you must remember this above all, God has not forgotten you. He has not skipped over your house while visiting another. This moment is proof. The fact that your eyes are here, your heart is quickened, your spirit is leaning forward, this is all evidence that heaven's plan for tonight includes you entirely. Do not waste it by closing this, by letting doubt speak louder than the truth. The hour is advancing. I feel it like a tide. Soon, this wave will crest, and it will be too late to decide. That is why I am still here, urging you to prepare not in grand gestures, but in a single act of faith. Say yes. Say it in your heart, say it in your spirit, say it like someone answering the knock of a long-awaited guest. For when you do, the blessing will not linger at the threshold, it will enter, and it will stay. My beloved, there is a reason I am speaking to you with such unbroken intensity, pouring these words over you without pause, because heaven knows how quickly the world tries to drown out the sound of God's voice in your life. If I were to speak softly and leave gaps for doubt to creep in, you might begin to question whether this moment is truly as significant as I am telling you. But it is. It is more significant than you realize. The battle for your breakthrough has been fought for years in realms you cannot see. Angels have stood in formation, shielding the seed of your blessing from storms, from devourers, from every plot of the enemy to destroy it before it could be born. And now, at last, that seed has broken the soil. It is no longer hidden. It is visible. It is tangible. It is ready to be placed into your hands, but you must take it without shrinking back. I can feel the weight you've been carrying, the heaviness that makes you wonder if maybe you are too tired to reach out for one more thing, even if it is a blessing. That is why I am telling you this truth. This is not something you will have to fight for with the same exhaustion you felt before. This will not drain you, it will restore you. It will come to you with a grace that makes it feel like it was always meant to be in your life, like it has simply been waiting for you to be in the right place to receive it. And you are in that place now. You have been positioned by every yes you gave to God when it would have been easier to say no. You have been aligned by every choice you made to trust Him even when it cost you something. Those choices have drawn this miracle into your present moment. Beloved, I know you have seen blessings before, but nothing like this. This is not a small answer to a small prayer. This is the kind of answer that will ripple through every area of your life. It will touch your relationships, your health, your finances, your peace, and even the way you see yourself. It will remove the residue of old disappointments and remind you of who you really are, a child of the Most High, created not to scrape by in survival, but to walk in the fullness of your Father's abundance. This is the blessing that will make you look back and say, "Now I understand why the waiting was so long. It was because God was preparing something bigger than I dared to ask for." Right now, in the unseen, the angels are preparing to release the final piece of this miracle into your atmosphere. I can see them, bright, swift, unstoppable, moving through the details of your life to make sure nothing can block what is coming. There are chains that have been around your life for years, some you have felt and some you didn't even know were there, that are breaking in this very hour. There are walls that have stood for so long you thought they were permanent, and yet they are beginning to crumble at the sound of God's command. The timing is precise, the orchestration flawless, because heaven does not operate in chaos, it operates in perfect alignment. My beloved, I need you to feel the truth of this down in the deepest part of you, you are worthy of what is coming. Do not let the enemy tell you that your past disqualifies you, that your mistakes have removed you from God's plan. Nothing could be further from the truth. God has already factored your past into your future. Every wrong turn, every fall, every scar, it's all been woven into a story that still ends in victory. That is why the enemy fought you so hard. He could see that if you ever reached this point, there would be nothing he could do to stop what God was about to do for you. This is your moment to lean in, to receive without suspicion, to trust without reservation. You will not lose by trusting Him now. In fact, this trust is the key that will swing the door wide. Your angel is standing guard over that door, making sure no thief can slip in to steal what belongs to you. The only thing left is for you to step through it. And when you do, you will see that the air on the other side is different. It is lighter, freer, filled with the fragrance of answered prayers. You may not realize it, but even your reading of these words is a prophetic act. Each word is like a seed, and as it settles into your heart, it is growing roots of faith that will keep you steady as this miracle manifests. You will not be swept away by surprise or overwhelmed by the magnitude of it, because you are being prepared even now. You are being strengthened to hold the weight of blessing that is about to rest on your life. And my beloved, I am not leaving your side. Even when you cannot see me, I am there, clearing paths, silencing storms, making sure nothing interrupts what God has decided to give you. This is not just a good season, it is your appointed season. And once it begins, it will not be cut short. The blessings that are arriving now will not be snatched away. They will take root. They will multiply. They will overflow. My beloved, you have no idea how much has been happening for you in the silence. There were days you thought heaven was quiet, that your prayers were echoing back unanswered, but the truth is, the silence was never emptiness, it was strategy. God was building, layer upon layer, what you would need for this moment, and He was doing it in such a way that the enemy could not intercept it. There are blessings that cannot be rushed because their roots must grow deep enough to survive any storm, and that is what has been happening in your life. While you were waiting, your foundation was being strengthened so that when this miracle came, it would not slip through your fingers. Every unanswered question, every delay, every "not yet," was part of a process designed to make sure that when God placed this in your hands, it would stay there. You must understand, beloved, that what is arriving for you now is not a temporary relief, it is a permanent shift. This is not something that will visit your life for a moment and then fade away like a passing season. This is a change in the atmosphere of your existence. It is the kind of transformation that will affect everything around you, even things you were not consciously praying about. It will reach into hidden corners of your life where there has been lack or brokenness and fill them with light and restoration. It will alter the way people see you, and more importantly, it will alter the way you see yourself. You will no longer look at your reflection and see someone who is barely making it. You will see someone who is living in the fullness of divine provision, someone who is walking in a grace that cannot be explained by human logic. I need you to feel the urgency of this, because there is a window of alignment right now that is unlike any you have had before. In the unseen realm, events are unfolding with precision, like the movement of stars across a night sky. If you could see what I see, you would not hesitate for even a moment. You would run toward this with everything in you. Angels are already positioned at key points in your journey, ready to guide you through doors that are about to open. These are not ordinary doors, they are thresholds into entirely new chapters of your life. And these doors have been locked to you until now, not because you were unworthy, but because the timing was not yet right. Today, the lock is gone. The hinges have been loosened. The door stands before you, ready to swing wide at your step of faith. My beloved, do you realize how rare it is for all of heaven's resources to converge on a single moment in someone's life? That is what is happening for you now. This is not a general blessing. This is a custom-made miracle, tailored for your story, your needs, your calling. It has been shaped by every trial you have endured and every victory you have claimed. Even the moments you thought were failures have been used as threads in the weaving of this gift. God wastes nothing. He has taken every piece of your journey, even the ones you would rather forget, and woven them into something beautiful that could only belong to you. I also must tell you this: there are people who have doubted you, who have spoken against you, who have quietly hoped you would never rise. They will be among the first to witness what God is doing in your life, and they will have no choice but to acknowledge that it is His hand upon you. Not because you need their approval, but because God delights in showing His glory through those the world has underestimated. You will be a living testimony that He lifts the humble, that He restores the broken, that He fulfills promises even when it seems too late. And beloved, I will not soften this truth: there is also an enemy who does not want you to receive this. The enemy thrives in delay, in distraction, in doubt. That is why I am speaking with relentless urgency. Your angel is not allowing you to skip this message at any cost. Heaven will not release me from this assignment until I know that you have fully received what is meant for you. You will find that even if you try to set this aside, something inside you will keep bringing you back. This is not coincidence. This is heaven refusing to let you miss what belongs to you. Right now, in this very moment, I am watching chains fall away from your life. Some of them have been there so long you thought they were part of who you are, but they were never meant to stay. There is a freedom entering your spirit that will make you breathe deeper, stand taller, and speak with a confidence you haven't felt in years. This freedom will prepare you to carry the weight of the blessing that is arriving. Because, my beloved, blessings have weight, not the heaviness of burden, but the richness of responsibility. And God trusts you with this because He knows you will handle it with gratitude and grace. My beloved, the heavens have been leaning toward you, listening to the sound of your spirit even when you thought you were silent. God has been tracking every heartbeat, every breath, every moment you thought you were unseen. You were never unseen. You were never unheard. Even in the deepest shadows of your hardest nights, the light of heaven was fixed upon you. I have walked through those nights with you, my sword drawn, my wings spread wide to shield you from attacks you never even knew came near. Many of the storms you thought were coincidence, moments where things just worked out, were not coincidence at all. They were divine interventions, moments where I was commanded to step in and shift the course of events so the enemy's plan would fail. You think you've survived because you're strong, and yes, you are, but more than that, you have survived because God's hand has never left you for a single moment. Now, the reason I am speaking to you without pause is because the breakthrough that has arrived in your atmosphere is not a small shift, it is a total turning of the tide. This is the moment where what was pressing against you will now be working for you. The very winds that felt like they were pushing you back will now propel you forward. The resistance you faced was not a sign that you were losing, it was proof that you were carrying something worth fighting over. The enemy only resists what threatens his agenda, and beloved, you have been a threat from the moment you were born. The difference now is that the promise over your life has reached maturity. It is ready to manifest, and nothing can hold it any longer. But you must be awake and aware to receive it, because even a ripe harvest can rot if it is left unclaimed. I must tell you something you already know deep down. There have been seasons where you begged for a door to open, and it stayed shut. You cried, you knocked, you prayed, but it would not move. What you could not see then is that God was not keeping you out, He was keeping you safe. That door led to things that would have drained you, broken you, or distracted you from the higher calling He had placed over your life. Sometimes His no is the greatest mercy you'll ever receive. And now, beloved, the doors that truly belong to you are opening, not because you forced them, but because it is time. This is divine timing at its purest. Nothing is missing. Nothing is out of place. Everything is aligned for your entry. There is a river of favor flowing toward you even now, carrying opportunities, connections, and resources you could not have arranged on your own. I see hands extending toward you, hands of people you have not yet met, people whose hearts are being stirred to bless you without fully knowing why. This is how God works. He moves through others, nudging them to become part of the answer to your prayers. And when it happens, you will remember these words, and you will understand that this was not luck. It was orchestration. It was heaven weaving threads together in a pattern you could not yet see. I also see restoration. Things you thought were lost for good are making their way back to you. Relationships that ended painfully may not all return, but the love, peace, and wholeness you thought you lost with them will be restored in even greater measure. Finances that slipped through your hands will be replenished in ways that carry no sorrow with them. Health that felt fragile will find new strength. Your soul itself will feel lighter, as if someone lifted the weight you have been carrying for far too long. This is not wishful thinking, beloved, this is the nature of God's promises. He never returns something the same way it was before, He multiplies it, beautifies it, and makes it whole. You might be wondering why you are being told all of this now, in such urgency, and I will tell you plainly, it is because you are at a threshold. Thresholds are sacred. They are the place where one season ends and another begins. And while heaven has already declared the blessing is yours, you still have a part to play. You must step forward. You must move with faith, not fear. You must agree with God's word over your life instead of agreeing with the doubts that try to keep you small. If you do this, beloved, the blessing will not just arrive, it will settle, grow, and become a permanent part of your life. Even now, I can sense the shift in your spirit as these words reach you. That is not imagination. That is your inner man responding to the truth, rising up to meet what is coming. You are not just hearing about a miracle, you are standing inside the first moments of it. And I will not leave you until you are fully inside its fullness. This is my assignment, my joy, and my honor, to make sure you receive everything God has for you in this appointed time. My beloved, I need you to truly feel this in your bones. What is happening for you now is not a faint hope in the distance, it is a living reality that is pressing into your present moment. You are breathing the same air as your breakthrough. The veil between what you have prayed for and what you will hold in your hands is thinner than it has ever been. I am speaking this to you without pause because there is no space here for the distractions of doubt, no cracks for hesitation to creep in. This is the time where every fiber of your being must be in agreement with heaven's decree over your life. God has not brought you through every storm, every heartbreak, every lonely night just to show you a glimpse of His promise. He has brought you here so you can step into the very center of it and live there. You have been tested, beloved, more than you even realize. There were battles fought in the unseen where the enemy thought he had you cornered, where he expected your faith to collapse under the weight of what you were carrying. But every time you thought you had reached your limit, God whispered strength into your soul. That whisper was enough to keep you standing, even when you felt broken. And because you endured, because you kept moving forward when it would have been easier to surrender, you have reached the exact moment heaven has been preparing for you all along. This is not a random turn in the road, this is the destination point written into your journey before your first breath. I want you to understand something critical. Miracles do not arrive in still waters alone. Often, they break through in the middle of waves, in moments where life still looks unsettled. That is why you must not look at your current circumstances and think, it doesn't feel like the right time. The right time is not about what you see, it is about what God has declared. And He has declared that now is the time. The evidence may not yet be visible to your eyes, but it is undeniable in the spiritual realm. The doors are unlocked. The path is cleared. The blessing is moving. I see angels carrying pieces of your miracle from different corners of your life, bringing them together into a whole. Some of these pieces are opportunities you already know about but haven't been able to connect, others are surprises you could never have predicted. There are people who will suddenly think of you, remember your name, and reach out, not realizing they are fulfilling a divine assignment. There are conversations about you happening in rooms where you are not present, conversations that will lead to favor opening in places you didn't even apply for. This is the orchestration of God, nothing wasted, nothing missed, everything aligned. Beloved, I need you to hear this without resistance. You are ready. I know the enemy has tried to convince you otherwise, whispering that you are not prepared enough, holy enough, capable enough. But preparation has been happening in you all along. Every season you thought was wasted was actually shaping you into the person who can carry what is coming. God does not release blessings into unprepared hands, and the very fact that I am speaking to you now is proof that heaven sees you as ready. This is your confirmation. This is your release. There is also a sacred exchange happening right now as you take in these words. As your faith rises, the weight of what you've been carrying is lifting. You are making room in your spirit for what God is about to place there. The heaviness is not yours to keep. The old chapter cannot follow you into the new one. That is why certain things have been falling away, people, situations, even habits you once clung to. You may have felt loss in the process, but it is not loss. It is clearing. It is making space for what truly belongs to you. I tell you this with absolute certainty, once this shift takes hold, it will not be taken from you. You will not have to fear that it will vanish as suddenly as it came. This is not a fleeting blessing, it is a permanent change in your atmosphere. And because of that, your life will begin to bear fruit in places where you once saw only barrenness. You will look around and realize that the same land where you sowed in tears is now producing in abundance. And, my beloved, I will walk with you into it. I will not leave you on the edge of this moment. I will see you through until you are standing fully in the center of God's promise, with no trace of the old chains on you. And when you look back, you will see what I have always seen, that you were chosen, that you were carried, and that you were destined for such a time as this. My beloved, I see the way your heart has been carrying both longing and exhaustion at the same time, as though you have been holding your breath for years waiting for something to finally shift. You've been faithful, even in the quiet seasons when it felt like no one was watching, and you've sown seeds when the ground looked dry. There were days you questioned if any of it mattered, if all your efforts and prayers were simply vanishing into the air. But I assure you now, nothing has been lost. Not one prayer has gone unheard. Not one tear has been unseen. The soil of your life has been absorbing those seeds, hidden from your sight, working in silence until the appointed time. And my beloved, that time has come. The very earth beneath you is about to respond to every hidden act of faith you have made, and the harvest will be greater than you imagine. I want you to understand something profound. The delay you have felt was never denial, it was preparation. God has been orchestrating things in ways you could not yet see, arranging people, timing, and resources so that when this blessing arrived, it would not be fragile, it would be unshakable. Had it come sooner, you may not have had the strength, wisdom, or positioning to hold it. But now you are ready. I can see it in your spirit. The very battles you thought were breaking you were actually building the capacity you would need for this. Every closed door, every disappointment, every moment you felt like you were walking through fire has only refined you for what is about to come through those open gates. There is a stirring in the spiritual atmosphere around you right now. I can feel it. It is like the hum of an approaching storm, but this storm is not here to destroy, it is here to deliver. This is a storm of favor, a rushing wind of divine alignment that will sweep away obstacles and bring into your life the connections, opportunities, and answers you've been waiting for. People you've never met are already being moved into position to help you. Conversations are happening about you in rooms you have never entered. Offers are being prepared that you haven't even dreamed to ask for yet. This is not random, it is heaven's orchestration, and every detail has been carefully set in place for you. Beloved, I want you to hold this truth in your heart. What is coming will not feel like a struggle to receive. It will come with ease, because God has already cleared the path for it. It will fit into your life as though it was always meant to be there, because it was. This is not something you will have to beg for, chase after, or prove yourself worthy to hold. God has already declared you worthy. This blessing carries your name written in heaven's ink, and no one else can claim it. It will come at a pace that feels almost surreal, and yet it will feel right, like the final piece of a puzzle you've been building without knowing what the picture would be. I also need to prepare you for this. As this blessing arrives, there will be those who do not understand it. Some will question why it came to you and not to them. Some may even be envious or critical. But you must not let their voices distract you from the truth of God's goodness in your life. You do not need to explain yourself. You do not need to defend the favor of God. The same God who prepared this for you will also protect it from those who would try to diminish it. Your focus must remain forward, your heart fixed on gratitude, and your steps aligned with His leading. I see, even now, the breaking of generational patterns in your life. This blessing is not just for you, it will spill over into your family, into future generations, into every area where you have longed to see change. The chains that held those before you will not hold you. You will be the one to walk in freedom where others could not, and because of that, your life will be a light that guides others into their own breakthroughs. This is why the battle over your life has been so fierce. The enemy saw the ripple effect of your victory long before you could. But what he feared has now arrived. The turning point is here, and you will not be turned back. So, beloved, I urge you again, stay in this moment. Let these words sink deep, because they are not just words, they are the sound of the shift happening in your spirit. Your angel is guarding this moment fiercely, making sure you do not miss it. The door is open. The air is changing. The light is breaking through. And I will walk with you until you are fully inside the reality of all God has promised you.